So you want to play a little bit better build than a typical league starty, but you're not exactly sure on how to get there. Here I'm going to demo kind of the Flicker Strike gameplay that I'm shooting for as essentially my league starter. And I want to put that in quotes because I'm not actually starting Flicker Strike. I'm starting Poisonous Concoction, and then I will transition later once I have the gear over to Flicker Strike. So I'm going to cover the farming strategies as well as some like nuanced stuff about Flicker Strike. So let's get started. Basically with Flicker Strike, it is a leech based build. I am playing a CI version with Doriani's, so you want to stack lightning res as low as humanly possible. This is kind of more budgety version because it's not like negative 160 lightning res. I'm at like negative 20. Just to give you more of a realistic what it will look like at the beginning part of it, not so much at the end part of it, because at the end part of it, everything just obliterates instantly. Right, but kind of what to expect. It's going to be really, really strong for farming low-level maps. So if you're wanting to chase something like Headhunter, Flicker Strike is a really fun build where you can just, you know, zip through Spider Forest, which I think is a tier 2 map, and you can just chain them really, really quickly. And essentially, the faster you and the better you get gear, the easier it is to farm that and keep that going. We are going a couple of things that are kind of weird with Flicker. You can run into stuttering issues. If that happens, you can get minus non-channeling mana cost on rings or mana gain on hit jewels. Then you can also get Essence Sap, which has like the node before Essence Sap on the tree over by the bottom by Ranger. And that gives you flat mana gained on hit. Those things will help if you're running into stuttering. Now, once you craft really good gear and you have really, really high end, it won't be as much of an issue. But early on, those things can be an issue. Also, Degens and Maven effects in general are a little bit scary. So that's just a little bit of forewarning as far as what to expect if you do choose to go Flicker, and then I'll explain how to get to this point. I'm going to do a farming build, and then I'm going to most likely transition into Flicker Strike. However, I also made a accuracy stacking guide that you could also transition into. So what I mean by a farming build and then a transition build. So how it basically works is we're planning on doing heist farming, and all that is kind of explained in the notes. But essentially what we want to do is hit level 62, go to heist. Once we go to heist, then we are going to de-level once we hit to 63 and just keep buying contracts over and over and over and farm a lot of currency that way to get the items that we need to transition into a bigger build. Once we do that, then we can go ahead and play something. We'll be behind by a day or two probably, but we can play something that's a little more expensive and a little more extravagant. If you are interested in going that route, you can basically follow this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play Poisonous Concoction because it's a really solid heist farmer, and this is what your tree will look like basically at in-game. Then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to, once we have all the currency or all the items here, then we can transition over. You don't have to buy everything. I most likely will. So I go right into Omega Powerful build. You don't have to do that, but you can do it that way if you choose to. But I'm gonna most likely buy all the items right off the bat, and then I'll transition once I have the items. Then essentially what you're going to do when you're ready to transition is you'll stop doing heist, you'll hit 63, you'll level. Then you're gonna go back and you're going to go into finishing the axe, doing Merciless Lab. You're not going to take your Merciless skill point. You're going to kill Katava. You're going to probably grind if you need to hit level 70. Once you hit level 70, you're going to unspec or respec out of the Nature's Adrenaline node and the Toxicist node. Once you do that, you're going to run Normal Lab because Normal Lab's the fastest, and you're going to change ascendancies to Raider. And then you're going to change your entire tree over to the starting Flicker tree. This is going to require a lot of Orbs of Regret if you choose to go this version. Just want to be very, very transparent about that. If you don't want to play Flicker Strike, but you're interested in stacking, you can do the same thing as far as the farming build. Then what you will want to go to is this accuracy stacking, and this will explain basically what you're wanting to get for each of the different attack skills that you may want to try, as well as the order in which to get gear. This is like the end game tree for it. And then I also do have a link to a starter tree that explains how to get started in the accuracy stacking path. But basically, as soon as you can put arrogance on petrified blood, you can start accuracy stacking, as long as you have the replica last resort's claws, which come from Heist, so you should be able to naturally farm them yourself. I hope this is helpful. I know it's a ton of information, but if you're interested in either one of these, I really do have kind of like step-by-step in both of them, and like what's important to get started from. The other thing that's very big is I also have a better trading setup for all of these. So I have a better trading setup for Flicker Strike, for Accuracy Stacker, as well as for Poisonous Concoction. Now for Poisonous Concoction, you probably don't want to buy anything except for maybe a +1 Chaos Shield. This other stuff is if it drops, equip it, essentially. It may also be worth it to get the Goldworm Boots, as well as the Sedima's Touch Gloves, as those do have quantity on them, which means that you'll get more loot as you're farming, because we're going to be farming for a little while, just to get enough currency going to get all the good stuff. I hope this was helpful. If you want to play this alongside me, you're more than welcome to come hang out with me on Twitch. I will be streaming live for League Start at twitch.tv/super_secret_tech. So you're more than welcome to come in, but I've also started Twitch streaming. I'm basically going to be Wednesdays off. This Friday and Saturday will be weird, because for League Start, I'm going to go way longer than I normally will. But normally my game plan is 7 to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, which is GMT -6. So if you would like to join me any day other than Wednesday, feel free to swing on by. I will also not be on for Thursday, which is 12/8, just because I need to take care of some family stuff for that one. And I'm going to alter my sleep schedule for League Start too. So that makes it a little tricky. But I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below. And I hope you have the best League Start and have an even better experience than I do. Till next time.